Hey ladies, I'm your host Natasha and welcome to another episode of Main Moves TV. For all of the ladies out there who are transitioning or just curious about it, this segment is for you. So what is transitioning exactly and how do you go about it? Well, we're here again at Tendrils Hair Spa with Master Pioneer Diane Bailey. She'll be giving hair consultations to 2 women who have been struggling in their transition process. She'll also be demonstrating some styles that you can try at home. So let's get started on your natural hair care journey with the first step, which is transitioning to natural.
Okay, so talk to me. Let's talk about your hair. Where do you want to go with your hair?
I want to eventually be 100% natural. Understanding what my curl pattern is and accentuating my curl pattern.
Okay, all right. Suppose you don't have a curl pattern because your hair has a lot of gray in it, and gray usually doesn't have a lot of cylinder shape. It's usually more wiry. So I don't want you to get confused about your hair texture so much, but I want you to give me an idea of the finished product. What do you want your hair to look like?
I envision myself voluminous coils.
Mm-hmm. So we would have to probably add some texture to your hair in order for that to happen, because I see that you have about maybe 1.5 inches of new growth. So that means that all the rest of this is relaxed. Mm-hmm. Transitioning means that you have 2 hair textures on 1 strand of hair, that you previously were relaxed or had a permanent wave, or it was straightened mechanically with heat, and you're now allowing it to grow into its natural virgin state. One of the things that we try to figure out first is where she wants to go, what her expectations are for her hair, and of course her hair texture itself, this natural texture. What can her natural hair texture do without us manipulating it too much? And you talked about your hair type. What did you want to know about it?
I guess, what kind of coil? I mean, I heard you say I may not have a curl pattern. That's kind of alarming. Because when you think of natural hair, you think, okay, some type of curl pattern. But I do notice on my own that the hair here is just almost a wave, not even a full curl. And then here, I do feel the tightness of a coil close to the scalp. So if I have a coil here and no coil here, where does that leave me?
Well, we all have different hair types.
Right.
And I'm not using curl because I don't see you have a curl.
Right.
A curl meaning a cylinder shape and
Right.
a round formation. I don't see that in your hair. Perhaps you might have it back here because we all have several different hair types on one hair. You know, this is going to be tighter. Maybe here would be a little wiry and here would be finer and softer. So you can see here, she hasn't relaxed her hair in about 4 months. And it's just about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in some cases. Again, your hair doesn't grow the same length throughout your whole head. So, you know, here it might be 2 and up here it might be 1.5. Here it's tighter. The wave pattern is coarser, and you can see it as I bring it back and forth, you can see the movement in the hair. And then when we come to the front, you can see this hair is more of like a wave and it's wiry because it's gray. And then here, it's another texture altogether. Quite kind of in between. You can see the wave pattern. There's a wave pattern here that's different than the back and not quite as straight as the front. You're going to have to create your own texture because your texture is not one of those curl patterns that's very cylinder in shape. It might be more of a wave, or it might be even a little wiry because of the gray. All the things that you've talked, the language you're using is language that people use because they're trying to identify and kind of narrow down. And I get that, but it might not apply to you because your hair is just uniquely yours. And it doesn't fit any particular script. Transitioning is not that hard. if you don't take it so seriously. It's about self-expression and finding what works for you. Once they ask themselves, what do I want for my hair? Then they need to see, is it realistic? We're looking at pictures that might not apply to our hair type, and it's not a realistic point of view to have. Really look at your hair. And I know they have like a lot of language around hair typing, but generally speaking, you know, you're gonna be coily, curly, wavy, kinky, wiry, or straight, or variations within those 6 ranges, 7 ranges. And in some cases, one person might have 3 hair textures on one head. And so you have to make that adjustment, and you have to facilitate and find out, how do I manage that within the style settings that I want? That's where I think going to a professional might help. And by going to a professional, I don't mean necessarily being serviced, but maybe just getting a consultation, maybe having someone help you pick out some products, you know, go in and say, listen, you know, why should I spend $100, $200 on products that don't work? When I can go and get a consultation, maybe buy the products from the salon, and they show me how to manipulate and manage my hair.
Now, when you say gray, I see strands of gray, but for the most part, my hair is the ash-colored blonde.
Right, your hair is ash,
So
but
ash tends to be dry. I know that color in itself.
Right, but I'm more concerned with, because as the new growth comes in, it's the wiriness of the gray is coming in. Remember, you had a relaxer, so the relaxer kind of smoothed everything down. So my concern is not so much the ash, my concern is the gray. That it's going to manage and be manageable the way you want to manage it. You see what I'm saying? And you know, you're used to managing it with relaxer. Now you're going to be managing the gray without a relaxer. So we need to see how that works for you. So it's good to see that you want to go natural. I congratulate you. And I want you to know that this particular journey that you're on is not for the weak. You have to be committed. You have to decide, even beyond your expectations, that you're going to receive it, whatever it is. And we'll try different things. And the first thing I would like to try is a rod set. It's going to be tight. Today, we'll open it and we'll show you how to open it more. And it lasts 4 weeks. So at the end of the 4th week, you're going to have this funky, fabulous afro exactly the way you want it to be.
I'm eager to see what the final product is going to look like, but I will say it occurred to me that natural hair or achieving a textured hairstyle is a lot of work. Sitting under that dryer was no joke. I was hoping to avoid the dryer as I went natural, but I see that that's still going to be a friend of mine. One of the things I really appreciate about Diane is she was always asking, what do you want to achieve? How do you see yourself? How do you envision your natural hair, or your textured hairstyle, and know what your curl pattern is and what you may have or may not have, and then there's still hope for you. So yeah, it's been a good experience. I'm very happy. I love all these curls. I just love it.